Thank you for playing this short presentation, and I hope you find it useful to your business. Health, safety and well-being, but not at the expense of your profits. How is that possible? Well, I hope to show you this over the next few slides. I often think of Murphy's Law when discussing accident and near-miss events with a new client. They may have a good safety record so far, despite not being compliant, but Murphy's Law is just round the corner. After all, left to themselves, things tend to go from bad to worse. Here are 3 reasons why you should manage your safety within the workplace. Morale being the first one. You have a duty of care to one another to make sure each other's working practices are safe. It leads to a better retention of employees, and it lowers absenteeism and presenteeism. In terms of profit, processes, efficiencies can be made from reviewing practices and looking for controls. No claims, no fines. It obviously saves you money, but also saves you on insurance premiums and avoids the damaged reputation that can come with that. From a legal point of view, you have policy that sets out what your health and safety arrangements are. It provides guidance, and you also have risk assessments to guide employees to make sure they are safe and that they are following your procedures. I often see health and safety and mental health and well-being as a bolt-on activity to the core functions of the business, when in reality, our people are our biggest asset, and we therefore need to look after them, and we should ensure that our practices take into account health and safety from the planning stage through to execution. If you're planning your own safety management system or a review of your current safety management system, then these are some of the key elements to consider. Who's going to be overall responsible for health and safety and well-being? This should be stated in your health and safety policy. Who will help you? What does success look like? How to successfully embed a safety culture in the workplace? Who is at risk from what you do? Where will the information be accessed? Communication methods to make sure the message is reached by those that should understand your health and safety changes. And always look for continuous improvement. So ask yourself, do you have the following covered? Health and safety policy, a risk register, risk assessments for your activities, plant and machinery guidance, hazardous substances, PAT testing, calibration, Lola inspections of lifting equipment, ladder inspections. Do you have a review cycle? When was the last time you had an electrical and gas safety inspection at your workplace? Do you provide training for employees? And importantly, refresher training. Is this documented? Access and ease of use of the system. How do your employees feel about accessing your current arrangements? Is it easy, user-friendly? And reporting. Do you have any data to show that you actually are engaging in health and safety? Have you completed a first aid risk assessment or a fire safety risk assessment? What are your arrangements for driving for work and your fleet? Do you provide health screening, particularly for higher risk activities? And what about permits to work for contractors that attend your site? The steps to know the risks to your people start with identifying the risks. You figure out the risk probability. How likely is that going to happen? Look at your accident records for some historic evidence. Manage the risk. You write it down in a risk assessment. Get stakeholders on board. Make sure they're engaged. Carry out toolbox talks to emphasise a particular working activity and how to do this safely. For my clients, we create a management safety system in SharePoint, Microsoft SharePoint, that is. And here we record activity and documents are accessible to everyone in the workforce. For some clients with higher risk and remote workers, we also develop Microsoft Power Apps. So examples are MUP inspections, forklift checks, dynamic risk assessments, to name but a few. And by providing access to this, employees are generating data to evidence that the safety checks are being carried out. So, if you review your safety management system, involve employees, then you are developing a culture of change in the organisation, which can only be positive and will lead to efficiencies in the workplace and therefore a bottom line benefit to your organisation. It also means that employees feel valued, and as your biggest asset, it's important that they feel this way. It cuts down on replacing staff that become dissatisfied and therefore are replaced or leave the organisation, and saves valuable recruitment money and time. Not at least the addition of training to get them up to speed on how you work as an organisation. So you can either do this yourself, or if you feel you need external help, then Big Mountain Consultancy start by offering a free gap analysis and action plan of your current arrangements. We can then work on a one-off project, or the most popular route is retained services, whereby we help you put your safety management in place and then provide ongoing support for risk questions, etc. We also have access to a large network of other businesses, and this proves invaluable and helpful to our clients in terms of introductions for services they might require or want to provide to our network. So I hope you found this information useful, and I look forward to having a conversation with you to discuss how we can potentially help, but without any commitment. Just let's have a coffee and understand what your current situation is. Thank you very much.